Okay. Question before we start. I was
That. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Nightmares of Future Past. I'm your host, Lux Blackheart, and I do have several heroes joining me today. Uh, what happened last episode was the party was able to get introduced to a few Batman villains. They learned the location of the Batcave, was able to retrieve a device from one of the Batcaves, and then activated it, pretty much turning Gotham into a nice landscape of cold and ice, because welcome to Gotham's new ice age. Most of the party is held up in a building keeping warm with a fire, with with two people rapidly approaching their location. One is both are not aware of either of one another's approach, and those at that location are unaware of those two about ready to join them. So we got several recurring heroes, Ren and Allstrike. Ren's at the location, Allstrike is approaching it, and we'll be introducing a new hero to today's saga. Dun dun dun. And now we're going to get into the thick of it with Ren, keeping warm by the fire, with Shuro and Techno seeming to be somewhat not fully there. And because of what your character is capable of doing, can you please roll me a perception with your plus 12 perception, please?
hold on, right.
Was it to me?
Yeah, you, Ren. There's, like
Okay.
I said, Ren, because if you have a particular ability, there's a chance that you can notice this before they actually get there. Well, that more than does it, Almighty Ren. You can pick up because of your mental awareness, which you can set sense mentals in your current location, because it's pretty barren out there because there's really nothing for you to actually detect, so things stick out a little bit easier. You can pick up a familiar mind approaching through the blizzard, flying in, and you believe it to be Allstrike, and a unfamiliar mind approaching from the road. What is it you do before both of those individuals show up?
Repeat that, please.
What do you do before those two individuals show up? Because, like I said, you can tell that one of them is Allstate, well, Allstate, High Allstate, it's Allstrike. The other one, you do not recognize his mind.
So then I will mentally reach out to Allstrike and let him know that I'm being approached by an unknown. Um, and that I don't want to reach out. But I'm not on the immediate defensive. Just be aware.
Okay. Which direction is he coming in?
Which direction is he coming from?
The west and on the road.
So I relay that.
Okay. I go and see if I can spot him from where I'm at,
Not through the blizzard.
and okay, so I can't see him through the blizzard.
No,
Okay.
it is interfering with visuals and, as it is a lot of snow, radar.
Okay.
It's
Well,
having
I
problems
go
penetrating the snow.
where Ren is at. I go and land and define her. I'm going to go to that location, and that way I can help defend what's ever going on.
As you boost in, at this moment, can the mystery hero who's riding his also popular motorcycle please roll your d20 with your impressive +9, please?
Oh, wait. I got this.
Yes,
Where is it?
It's right there.
I have to do a thing because I have things. Let me. No! I dropped them. Where'd it go? Don't want to step on those. Those are D4s. That would suck if I stepped on one of those.
Yeah, make sure your camera's
Okay. I am getting my D20 ready first, and swapping Memento. Bam.
Roll with your good hand.
Ooh. I don't know if it's a 6 or a 9.
That's
9?
6.
6.
Yeah, you
6
can tell
and.
where the dot is.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So 6, and then I had a plus 9.
9 makes it a 15, which means you are. It's a little difficult, but you are making it through the weather. And after a few minutes, you're able to pull up in front of the building. You can somewhat barely see through the blizzard that there is light coming from inside. And of course, Ren can sense the fact that whoever this mystery person is, that they are out in front of the building, about ready to enter. Because the blizzard
Okay.
did a very good
Am I
job
visible?
Well, are you actively trying to hide?
No, I'm not actively trying to hide. I want to be visible.
Oh, you want to be visible, okay. You are very easily visible, because you're not actively trying to hide. To verify, does the yet to be properly introduced stranger enter in the building now? Out of the chilling cold.
No.
I am going to approach, but not enter, because I don't want to seem hostile, and I'm just gonna kind of like knock at the door out of.
Well, there is no door.
Oh well, I'm just gonna walk up and go, "Hello."
And yes, All Strike, like I said, you're already there.
Okay. The defensive thing, basically,
Prep for
wise,
combat if it's
and
needed.
huh?
Prep for combat if it's needed.
Yes.
You guys do hear him call
I
out.
respond with a hello.
Now you guys can interact.
Okay. I respond with a hello. Trying to get out of the cold.
Yes, if you don't mind. It's a little chilly riding around in this out of
Right.
nowhere
Surprised you
blizzard that just happened.
I'm surprised you made it as far as you did with how cold it is outside. Absolutely. You can come in.
I will slowly
Okay.
walk in, just kind of keeping my guard up, but not being like trying to present hostility or anything just yet. And just because
Trying to
it's
be friendly,
new
but
folks, I'm just
prepped
gonna
to throw down.
yeah. I'm being reserved, but somewhat defensive, but not trying to show it.
But this.
It's basically, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm ready for combat, but I'm watching you. Said, where are you from, friend? Come from?
Not from here. I'm actually here looking for a relative. I heard Gotham came under attack. And my brother's somewhere in the city, and I don't think he made it out. I'm looking for him.
What's your brother's name?
Brandon.
Brandon.
Well, we found a few buildings that have groupings of survivors in them. So once we kind of figure out what's going on, I'm sure we could probably help you get around to those places and search for your brother.
That'd be appreciated.
No problem.
Can I tell them what they're saying?
Yes, describe yourself.
Hmm.
I said describe oneself.
All right. So you just see someone that's roughly about 6'2", slender looking, probably pushing close to 200, looking a little beefy, like he's built stout, kind of. Just plain blue jeans, black leather motorcycle boots, leather jacket. On his right arm, you see like a medieval style steel gauntlet with a chain tightly wrapped around it. Orange and fiery highlighted-esque hair, and a hockey mask that is splattered with just dried, caked blood.
For
So
those
what
that-
is your name?
I'm gonna think. Sorry, I was like, I'm gonna think over to Allstrike and be like, for someone that's looking for their brother, they sure do seem like they've encountered some violence along the way. But I'm not getting I'm going to kill you right now vibes, so I'll take it.
He looks like he belongs in a horror film, but yet isn't currently acting like it.
Okay. So what's your name, friend? Did we going?
What was that, Allstrike? You're cutting in and out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was asking, are we in an area where there's a fire going or whatever?
Yeah, there's a fire.
Oh,
Okay.
would I be able to like get my bike into this building so it doesn't like freeze over?
Yes.
I was gonna
All
say,
right,
seeing
before
as
I
how
do
there's
that,
not a door.
before I do that,
likely-
I'm gonna look to him and be like, "Hey, y'all care if I bring my bike in here?"
Oh, bring it in. You'll probably otherwise you might not be able to get the restart. With the,
Yeah,
with the,
so
so what
so
is your name?
I'll drive it back in, and I'll step out real quick and ride it back in. What you see is a highly customized, aesthetically, a clapped out Harley Davidson night train, and I just kind of like pull it and just stick it to the side of the room, away from like doors and windows, just kind of keep it, and then I'll cut it off, and I'll just kind of like tinker with it a little bit.
To make sure that no damage occurred while it was out there, because it is
Mhm.
really, really cold. You're gonna probably laugh at this. It's a D20 roll, no modifiers.
Who? Oh, him or him?
Him.
For him?
For him.
There's my dice. Wait, no, I already rolled that one. That one kind of gave me some shit. Where is my
Just
other one?
need
Right there.
That's it.
right. Oh,
Let's do this one. All right, there's I'm rolling the blue one. Oh,
You are pretty sure there's nothing wrong with your bike. It's a little on the
okay.
cold side, but you're pretty sure there's nothing wrong with your bike that you can tell.
Mhm.
Got it in here okay. So it's like, yay. What do you...
so what?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask him. I was going to ask you. I'm glad. Come on in, friend. But what do they call you? My name is Allstrike. What's yours?
Wasn't really just kind of keeping my identity to myself, but the city I came from, they call me Vigilante, but you can call me Vigil.
Oh, okay, Vigil. That sounds fine. So where did you come from? What city? Since we're getting to know each other. I mean, I was born and raised here, so.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't really think that far ahead, did we?
No, give me a second.
One.
I'm thinking to Ren. I'm asking her, what do you think about this this character so far?
Mentally, right?
Yeah, mentally.
Yeah.
Okay.
While I'm still looking
Oh.
at my bike, just interrupting to answer that question, I'll just be like, oh, Star City.
Star City. Okay.
And then I'll
So
just kind of like
I
go sit by the fire.
tell Allstrike.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I tell Allstrike, if he's from Star City, he's probably got some interest in Star Labs. We know what the word vigilante means, but doesn't look like we've gained that ire, so I'm not worried right now.
Okay. I get a very I'm thinking this here. He's aggressive. He's not looking for trouble, but he's not willing. He ain't gonna take it any shit off anybody, basically. So I think he'll fit in with us.
Yeah, I wonder if we should reach out to Captain Sewer and see if he knows about his arrival. It's because this is knowing that there are other survivors in this place. This is a very specific place to show up to. Like maybe he was searching us out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yep. Go ahead. My
So I'm gonna
communication.
telepathically. Yeah, I was gonna telepathically reach out to Captain Sewer, um, and let him know about our newest arrival. I'm
Cap,
wondering if he knew anything about it.
he does. I have limited information on that guy. The only things I can tell you and be actually sure of is Thief knows him.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, because you guys have no reason to not trust Thief. He's always pulled through in the past.
Exactly. So you said you're from Star City, Vigil?
Mm-hmm.
Did your brother happen to work at Star Labs here in Gotham City?
I'm not sure what my brother was doing here. I just know he's here in Gotham City. I since the dealings of what I deal with in Star City, I tend not to keep in contact with family out of safety reasons.
Makes sense.
If I don't know what they're doing or more or less where they are, the safer they are. I just found out through a few contacts that my brother was here and then heard about what was happening here and had to come.
Yes, he had to come.
You know, you said you had contacts. Who are they? Just regular citizens or
Just some regulars that I've worked with in Star City. They have some reach.
Okay.
I try not to use them, though I've had to call in quite a few favors. They're the ones that got me in contact with the thief, and I met up with him about 3 days ago, and he couldn't make it here with me due to circumstances, but told me that this was a likely spot to get some help trying to find my brother and to figure out where the hell this blizzard came from out of nowhere.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Do you know, Red?
I don't want to play this game.
What?
But I said I don't want to play this game. Like I don't want to play the game of being dumb about what happened. um, so that was like my in-game response to Allstrike of I don't want to play this game.
Okay, well, just blame it on Batman. It's always causing some trouble around here.
No, no, no.
Wait,
We also kind of figure
Batman?
out what happened.
Batman? I thought Batman had died.
So that's him.
And he hasn't been seen in a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, he disappeared.
Yeah, he
after
has
season
not.
1.
Yeah, none of the Bat. Have we run into any of the Bat family since this started?
Nope.
Main man, with my abilities, would I be able to search out a specific mine to see if I could confirm where they might be located?
If you were
I
familiar
seem to have
with the
pretty good
mine,
reach.
as in like if you would have been in proximity to them and actually communicated with them or used your powers on them, I could say yes. Otherwise, you would be doing a broad mental search, and the farther the individual is you're trying to look for, the bigger the penalty is on being able to pick up the mind and being able to actually identify if that's the person you're actually looking for or not. Your best bet would be
Okay.
to locate the holdouts for where the survivals are, and then attempt to read minds of them there to see if they may or may not have any information that you may or may not need.
Would that
Remember,
penalty check go down if I had more information from someone related to them?
I can prevent it being narrowed to you knowing the name and probably a description, so that way, if someone is talking to that person or about that person, you can better ping their minds, but that won't necessarily. Um, it won't necessarily get rid of the penalties, but what it will do is
Yeah, I was
technically
just
make it
asking if it would
clearer.
lower it.
Um, so if you manage to get to an area and started people like looking around for this individual, um, the like I said, you go to the location to where there's people hold out, and you start them looking or trying to get information to see if there is a Brandon there that matches that description. And then as you're doing it, because you'll be at the location, you don't have distance hindering you. And because it will be surface thoughts, the DC you'd have to beat would be technically lower just to pick up any surface thoughts. By DCs, I mean uh, when they do their checks to try to resist your light mental probing, you'll have an easier time with going, okay, they're talking about Brandon, what's facts, what's not facts. Oh, hey, look, there it is over here. You'll be able to expedite it a lot quicker than trying to do a long range probing. Does you have distance in on it? I mean, a distance separating you from those mines on top of, unless someone conveniently is talking to or about that particular Brandon, the likelihood of you randomly getting Brandon at this point is quite low. Even though you do have
Okay.
a relatively high chance, a relatively high mental mind reading, because you do have a quite decent ability to read minds and stuff. Distance and the likelihood of people talking about him make it not very likely. So the party would have to try to go to one of the known locations. You know that Ellsworth Building, St. Luke's Hospital both have people at it. You know that Gotham Tower Apartments has people. You know that Star Labs does have a few people working it. And you were informed that there's people at Arkham Asylum. So there is.
did we ever find
Go ahead.
at the water treatment plant? Did we ever find out whether there were people at the water treatment plant and the power plant? That was one of the things. And we're going to look into.
The party never really got a chance to actually go to those locations.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I just thought I'd ask.
So information on power sources and whether or not there's available water systems is not available information at this time.
Okay. Because I don't remember, did we reach out to Mr. Freeze before the end of last episode?
No, you guys got the device, went to the recommended spot, and then activated the device. Which means you guys would have to
Okay.
go back to that Star Labs, get access into it, and then go talk to the guy who sent you on that escapade.
I don't have to go access Star Labs. I can communicate with him telepathically and just be like, so it's pretty cold outside right now.
Well, the question is, oh God, what book is he in for his mental stats? Is do you or do you not reach out to try to talk to everyone's favorite cold-based villain?
Mr. Frost.
I do reach out to do that, yes.
Give me one moment.
I am cooking food, so I'm gonna mute my mic, but I am listening.
Sometimes I don't like how they have certain things listed, because it's either not listed correctly or listed in a weird way. Yeah, this instead of using Dr. Freeze, they used Mr. Freeze. They gave him Mr. Okay, does he have anything that's going to directly interfere or stop with your ability to read?
I was about to say, I was able to do it last game without issue because that was how we were supposed to reach out to him to find the device, to know which one to grab.
Well, I'm just double checking to make sure there's nothing that would actually do it other than me just saying there isn't. There actually has been a hot
Okay.
minute. There is nothing that is immediately stopping you from reading, well, from mental communications with him, and he's not opposed to talking to you. So what do you state again?
So it's pretty cold outside right now.
He's like, oh, I hope so. I can assume by that statement you got the device to work.
That we did. Seems like it was pretty effective. Maybe a little too effective.
Well, when one plans on, freezing the world, efficiency is key.
I see.
Do you not like the efficiency at which it worked?
I mean, it solved one problem, but it seems to have caused a whole nother problem.
Oh, it didn't cause any problems. It fixed your problems.
Well, in a city that has pretty much no electricity, except for almost exclusively where you are, yeah, no, it's caused quite a few problems.
Yeah, you people, and you're wanting to be warm. Can't just
Well,
enjoy the cold.
And have like an operating infrastructure.
I,
No, that's
I didn't
pretty
destroy
important.
I didn't destroy the infrastructure.
No, the infrastructure was already destroyed, so now it's just going to be even harder to repair.
Yeah. But hey, you wanted problems fixed. Now a bunch of the problems are fixed. So all the critters running and hiding now are going to be more intent on hiding than, coming out of the cracks and eating people.
That's not wrong.
It's not. Plus, it will make a bunch of those people more compliant to, most likely, listen and cooperate, because if they don't, they'll most likely freeze to death. Or just have very miserable short lives.
I did say it might have been a little too effective.
No, it's effective just the way it needed to be.
Well, at least they won't have a problem with water as much.
Just gonna have a problem heating the water.
Yeah, just eating the water. Yeah.
That's your new problem. Getting the water warm enough to, getting the ice and snow hot enough to melt and stay in that state. So you technically
Yeah.
fixed the water problem for people who are having water problems. It's just heat and keeping it is the new problem. And hey, a lot of the food and stuff throughout the city that's still in places are going to have a longer shelf life because, well, Gotham is now a giant freezer.
Yep.
So stuff is gonna.
So I look at Allstrike. Oh, go ahead.
So you guys don't necessarily have to worry about stuff going bad anytime soon because it's gonna be too frozen to rot.
So I look at Allstrike and I tell him, so Mr. Freeze is pretty happy with the outcome. Um, he thinks that it was just as effective as it needed to be to solve a multitude of problems. So I suggest we try to figure out how we're going to fix this.
Well, one, we've got to figure out whether or not we fix the power grid so we can get
That's
power.
going to be difficult with everything frozen over because even in just standard winter, when a tower or a transducer or transformer freezes, it causes problems.
Hey, Jacob, question. Am I hearing them have their conversation, like running off strike, or is that
Are you
telepathic?
using your telepathy to have that conversation, or are you openly having that conversation?
I was using telepathy to have the conversation with Mr. Freeze. I was speaking out loud to Allstrike.
Okay. And then here's my question: would I know who Mr. Freeze is, being from Star City?
Yes. You would know that Mr. Freeze is one of the biggest criminals in Gotham history, and you can technically label him with multiple things. Cold based, extremely cold based, fanatical about freezing everything, and one of the most dangerous thieves around because he's infamous for doing high stake theft, like stealing of priceless jewelry, art, literally robbing banks. He's also stole from locations like Star Labs.
Hmm.
And you can probably say the theme of, wow, Batman has plot armor, because Mr. Freeze, also known as Dr. Freeze has the tenacity to literally go, hey, look, that's a person, hits with a ray gun. Now they're a popsicle.
Yeah. Okay. So, in hearing Ren say Mr. Freeze or Dr. Freeze or whoever, I'm going to be like, did you just seriously get help from one of the nastiest villains that Star Lab has ever dealt with? Is he behind this?
Yeah,
The Blizzard?
yeah, yeah, but not
Okay.
in the way that you think.
My question is, why would you entrust a villain to do this when it's all he ever wanted was to freeze the world, and you just gave him a city as a foothold? There's no
Well,
stopping him
there
now.
are. Well,
I'm
there
going off the
is
basis, this
because
is out of
he's.
character. I'm going off the basis that I don't know that he's held captive or under some kind of like
Yeah,
security prison thing.
I was working. Yeah, I was already working under that assumption. At which point, I was going to clarify that.
So clarify for the witnesses and
Yes.
you
So yes. So when I said not in the way that you think, the reason for that is because Mr. Freeze is being held until the end of time, essentially, in a impenetrable, I guess you could call it, frozen fortress under Star Labs. He is contained without means of escape. And so, yes, we requested his help in identifying a source for a large localized freeze to deal with, well, a slime that was eating the city slowly and surely through dissolving it, and massive amounts of large insectoids who were wreaking havoc and also killing civilians. So while this definitely looks worse than it is, because it is worse than was originally thought would happen, it was the intended effect. Because we had to build from scraps and a lot of luck a liquid nitrogen encasement for fragments of the slime. And maintaining that liquid nitrogen encasement became, well, it's not sustainable. There's only so much liquid nitrogen before you run out and you don't have any more. So this was the most effective way to contain the slime that was dissolving the city as it inched through. But yes, Mr. Freeze is contained. Yes, we used his help. Yes, I, as not the one with the technological know-how, did not realize just how far and extent this freeze would go. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. We managed a number of problems. Now we just have to manage this one.
Yeah. The lot less want to get out and cause trouble. The minor crime I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, what was that, All Strike? You cut out a little bit on my end.
I said, with it being so cold, it's not going to be that much. Not misdemeanors, but lower type of crime. You know, like guys mugging people, things like that. Right off the bat, too cold to do anything. That's one thing, but Freeze is under Star Lab. I thought he was Arkham Asylum.
No, no, he is contained in a specialized unit underground in Star Labs. We had to get special permission to even be able to go see him, to be able to talk to him about handling this issue. Because of the containment requirements that they have on him.
Okay. Now, the Star Labs and stuff, or is his containment doesn't require electrical power to contain it?
Star Labs has their own power. So they're completely separate from the grid. They have full defense mechanisms engaged at all times. And when the city lost power, they did not. They have the top of the line. Like, I don't have the technical know-how to explain the level of generators that they have to maintain that place. They have a separate electrical grid entirely.
Okay. I kind of figured it did, but I just wanted to ask. What when you reached out to Captain Stewart, what did he have? About I'm thinking this to you about our new friend.
Okay, and telepathic response. That thief knows him, and I said that was good enough for me.
Okay. All right. So how do we want to go about this? Do we want to go ahead and go towards which is closer? Is it the hospital or Gotham Tower Apartments? Tower Apartments.
Let me double check.
Okay, well, Jacob's doing that. I wanted to see if we could get a response about what I explained to Vigil.
Do what? I didn't hear that last part.
I said I wanted to see if I could get a response to what I explained to Vigil.
Oh, okay.
As long as he's contained, I just don't understand why we couldn't come up with a better solution than to involve one of the most deadly criminals known. But if you say he's contained, and since you know thief, I guess I'm just gonna have to trust the judgment.
Did Thief tell you who we were, so like you know what we can do and who you're around?
Hang on a second. I'm still in the middle of cooking, so. What was that again?
I said, did Thief tell you who we were, so you know who you're around, what we can do, those kinds of things, so that you know how our information is verifiable.
He just said y'all were some band of superheroes that might have information and locations of where people are held up, and that was my best bet to find my brother. So I came.
Okay, that
makes sense.
Yeah, that's not inaccurate. Yeah, that's pretty true. I have not introduced myself yet. My name is Ren. I am a psionic. I have the ability to communicate telepathically. I also have telekinesis, and so because of my abilities, I am able to directly communicate with Mr. Freeze about, one, the situation, but two, also be able to verify his location, like his mind's location, so I know where he is essentially at all times. Anytime I reach out to him, anytime I'm in the area, I can tell you exactly where he is. I know how to identify him. So that's the reason why we can essentially confirm that he is where he says he is. And even if he was saying he was somewhere else, I don't have to rely on that information.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that they went to Mr. Freeze, because there was not enough liquid nitrogen around so we could use it for what we were doing to battle this creature that was basically trying to eat Gotham.
Now, I will say that Techno's original intent was to make a cryo bomb with liquid nitrogen. So that was actually the original reason why we reached out to Mr. Freeze, was to see if he could help make an effective one, but he already had one made. So that's what we're looking at right now.
Well,
And are you positive? I can make sure I'm unmuted. Now, are you positive that the bomb that he had made and that y'all had used didn't compromise Star Labs for him to get out, as he is so much more adept to the cold and can use that to his advantage in any circumstance?
That's a great question.
yeah, that is. From what we could, because it's still operational, that we weren't affected by the blast of the cold.
Allstrike,
There-
you are breaking up.
They're able to keep. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we're not. It's not you. We're not blaming you or anything. I'm just that you are breaking up.
Better. Is that any better, Jacob? I mean,
Somewhat.
It sounds like there's like a fan or something in the background that might be adding some wind interference.
Yeah.
That's probably my microwave. Is that better? Sorry. Like I said, I was cooking and I forgot to mute my mic. Well, one thing we need to know for sure and to confirm is that we need to know if Star Labs is still standing after this bomb that y'all have detonated into the city that could potentially help Mr. Freeze. Not saying that not saying I don't trust you or that I do, at the fact that you say he's contained in an impenetrable holding facility. But that bomb is making the entire city go sub-zero, and that's going to have effects. And I'm not one.
Sorry, go ahead, Vigil.
And I'm not much one on dealing with things in the cold.
Yes. Man, can I reach out to the Star Labs attendant that we originally interacted with? I cannot remember his name.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I reach out to him and question the stability of Star Labs.
we're here. Highly doubt.
Are you functional?
Yeah, we're functional. Highly doubt this storm is going to actually do anything to us.
That's wonderful news. Do you maybe have any information to reverse said storm once we confirm that the slime is no longer going to be a problem in the foreseeable future?
Well, I'm not a cryogenicist.
Of course not.
While they can be reversed and or lessened, you would have to talk to the source.
Cool. Okay.
Does if anyone knows the length of this, would be the person that you come and talk to, and whether or not he actually tells you the truth or not.
Yeah. Well, glad to know you're still operational. Reach out if you need something or anything changes. Because I can hear you.
Miss, Mr.
I'm gonna verbally relay to Virgil and Allstrike that
Vigil.
telepathically I checked in with Vigil.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say?
Virgil. I don't have an R.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, you're right. Allstrike and Vigil that I telepathically spoke with the lab attendant we originally met with in the lab at Star Labs, and that they are still operational, but a visual confirmation is always good.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna
What was the bomb?
the what?
The bomb? Where was the cryo bomb detonated at? Was it detonated
Above the city.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to ask again. Um, how are how are the ants dealing with this cold, or do we know?
You guys don't know. Does you guys haven't gone verified on what the ants are doing? Or anything like that?
Hmm.
Does all you guys
Yeah,
know
we
is
haven't made it
there's a
outside yet.
blizzard and you have a new friend.
Yeah.
That's all you can
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
verify.
Well, did this lab attendant that you talked to at Star Labs say anything about how do we reverse this? And what's this about a slime trying to consume the city? All I knew about were the insects and people turning into them.
Yes. So the lab attendant did mention that to manage this problem, we would need to speak to the source. So that means a trip to Star Labs. And the slime that we encountered, actually, if I remember correctly, came from the sewer system. And we had a bit of a snafu down there, one of our earlier missions, and had to quite literally open all the floodgates of the sewer to save ourselves. So I believe it is thought that it might have originated from that. And so, yes, it was dissolving citizens as it found its way to the surface.
And you guys currently have
I
it
thought it would.
contained in the makeshift facility that Techno made.
Yes.
What
You were planning on
wasn't the original?
unleashing it on the ants, but didn't have a way to then secure it.
Yeah. What didn't it come from space?
Nope.
Wasn't there
If you're
some
talking
type
about
of
the movie, it came from space. The Blob,
right?
the party first encountered blobs in season 1 when it was being used as a defense mechanism for Hive secret facilities.
No.
Which means when the party got rid of Hive, their blobs remained, and the party could only verify one remaining blob. And then the party managed to locate and secure it through inventive bomb explosions of coldness.
Wasn't there a um? Wasn't there a plane or something that went down
Uh,
in the
there's
Uh,
a part
yes.
that got blown up by the party because they blew up the plane that crashed there. And somewhere in the bay, in Gotham Bay, at the bottom is another crashed plane, which the party was not able to verify any information about other than it's in the bay.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I'm just looking over at my something. No.
Also, the plane
Well,
contained the psychic fungus, so that was a time.
You mean the highly explosive
well,
psychic fungus that was highly mobile with the corpses it had access to? That you guys blew up?
Yes.
Hey, Jacob,
That
or the main man, excuse me. I would like to move closer to the door and just kind of look out and figure out and see, like, what am I saying? Is it getting worse outside? Is it starting to ice over? Like, what are the conditions outside if we're about to traverse in this?
Visibility is just from you looking out from what you can see is limited to a couple of feet. So it's going to get real easy to run into stuff because you can't actually see properly. It is really noisy, and the farther away you get from their fire, the colder you practically that you get. So it's kind of like you feel that you're in the Arctic.
Okay.
So you're pretty sure it's not.
I just want to check. I want to test something. I want to take the chain and just kind of like throw my hand out and extend it, and then pull it back. And I want to see if how quick it freezes, if it and all it does.
How do you rapidly start pulling it back in after throwing it, or do you let it sit for a moment?
I'll throw it out there, let it sit for like 3 seconds, and then pull it back as quick as I can.
You can easily fling it out there because again you have like 15 feet of chain to work with, and you start pulling it in. You can see that parts of it are, frozen together, which makes it more stiff. So that you have to heat it up a bit before you can wrap it around yourself. And it is really, really cold to the point that you don't want to touch it with your bare skin. So you are pretty sure that if it wasn't for this fire here warming up this area that normally would look not very insulated, the snow and stuff outside is making this building pretty insulated, except for the obviously broken windows and no door, where most of the heat is evacuating through. That if you go out there, you're not, whoever doesn't have proper protection isn't going to actually last very long before they start to freeze.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of like before I try and heat it up or anything, like how much of the chain is like frozen? Is it just like inches of sections, or is it like feet of sections?
It's not consistently like the entire portion of it, but there's parts of it that are frozen in inches, and then parts that are frozen in feet.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of take it and then toss my chain on the floor in front of Ren and Allstrike and be like, I cannot go out in that. I don't have the proper gear. If that chain was out there for 3 seconds, and parts of it are frozen. So I'll then take the chain and kind of like just toss it around the fire and just kind of like let the ice melt and everything before I wrap it around my gauntlet. So unless y'all happen to have cold weather gear suited for, I don't know, the South Pole, I'm not going anywhere, and my bike won't do anything out there either. So if we do go somewhere, I'm going to be on foot.
Ray, could you contact Cat Sewer and see whether or not we would have a clear path using the sewer system to get from here to Star Labs?
Allstrike, you have a communicator.
Oh, that's right, I did that one. I called Captain Sewer and asked him if the tunnel, the tunnels underneath the city, and that are clear enough that we can go from here to Star Labs without staying out in the cold completely. Because the temperature in the tunnels will probably be a lot less cold, a lot warmer than going outside.
If you can make it there, there's a very good chance that the sewers aren't frozen over, because the only person that would be actually any frozenness would be the access points to the sewer system. The wind factor may be a slight problem in parts because, well, cold wind blowing in. So it should be warm enough not to kill you, but not warm enough for long-term survivability. So if you're trying to get to Star Labs, you can technically make it within a block or two of Star Labs.
Well, I'm going to look around in this building that we're in and see if I can find any like cloth, curtains, drapery, coats, anything that we can possibly use, or me possibly use, to bundle myself up a little bit, kind of like shove under my jacket and wrap myself up in, just to kind of help insulate.
And protection against the cold?
Yeah, just to kind of like help out, because I know, I mean, shit, I've got blue jeans and a leather jacket and a t-shirt underneath. Like,
you can find some furniture to rip open to get the stuffing out, and a few other articles of material to use as extra outer layer shielding to help keep everything warm.
Reno, what
are you? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that, but I'm not like, I just say that, my chain's by the fire, and then I just start like destroying furniture and taking the stuff in, shoving it under my jacket and down my arm sleeves, and just trying to insulate myself.
Hey, main man, did you say that Techno was with us in the building?
Technically, yes.
And didn't Techno make some insulating outfits for dealing with the liquid nitrogen containment area?
Oh, if you're talking about what his makeshift quarantine spot where the blob is, yeah, he has at least two usable suits there, but that's there and not with him.
Gotcha.
So,
So what you're saying is we should probably wait until we have a techno to maybe make some more.
the best he can do at the moment, uh, is more for himself and Shuro, which is temporarily adjust the jetpacks to utilize their thrusters instead of giving flight to just produce excess amounts of heat. But that's only going to actually help him and Shuro, not you
Everybody.
and Vigil.
Is where are we located at? What building again?
Uh, Nondescript building. It's a non-important building name.
Okay. Um. So he's looking for something. You know, he's destroying furniture and that, and using the stuffing in that as insulation.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to see if there was any other things that might be around this in this building or close to this building that I could zip over and get to bring over to these guys to make them warmer.
Well, since Gotham is the only times Gotham deals with cold-based shenanigans is when Mister Freeze is trying to freeze stuff, and that's not a common occurrence because Gotham isn't really known for getting the worst of winters. Just during the winter times people are just wearing normal cold winter gear, which is like jackets and maybe boots and maybe a hat. Nothing too serious. This Gotham, even though it does occasionally get a occasional bad winter where parts of the bay start to freeze and stuff, it's normally short lived. And
How far away is it? Go ahead.
yeah, and it's just normally not that big of a problem for Gotham when it gets cold. So a lot of stuff isn't necessarily designed to withstand this level of cold. On top of the fact that due to the blatant stupidity of a lot of people in Gotham, it didn't take very much effort to start screwing with the infrastructure because again, a lot of it is severely outdated by decades.
Yeah. Now, how far away is the closest hardware store?
In this particular part of the city, quite a ways away.
The reason I'm asking, I was thinking about getting some of the insulation that they use to, cover, you know, like heating pump. I mean, like the heat pumps, things like that. That's a little bit better and has a higher rating than destroying the furniture
Well, the
and stuff.
hardware
I mean,
store,
it's an idea.
if you're trying to do something similar to what Techno did with getting the let's put a layer of practically plastic between the party and outside sources, you can technically pull something off like that. It could possibly be good to help with keeping the warm in, but unless you're talking about a building, the hardware store won't really have anything to actually help people stay warm.
Well, okay. I know like when you're winterizing your houses and things like that, you can get some insulation tape, not tape, well, tape and like
Foam.
a foam or a thing where they can wrap it around the pipes and it keeps it warmer. Yeah, I forgot how many degrees warmer it keeps it, but it causes it to once things get below freezing, it still won't let the pipes freeze. I know that they have that because I had to do that with my camper and one of the houses I lived in. It was like a foam insulation type thing that you wrapped around and taped.
Yeah. Well,
And
the problem with that is because of because I know exactly what we're talking about. Because they're the way they're shaped and the pipes are supposed to go over, it you'll be breaking it in order to put it over anyone's arms or legs or body because they're not designed to go over the stuff that thick. And again, because this is Gotham, it's not going to be the best insulation material because again, they're not nothing they would have in stock would be geared for this level of cold. And you'll be pretty much
okay,
doing the same thing that Vigil is doing with creating using the cushion fabric as a layer of insulation while putting slightly either layering or thickness other material over the outside. You'll be doing the same exact thing, but taking extra time and effort to do it. Excuse me.
and it'd be a little bit better rating for the cold. But like you said, it'd be doing the same
You're
thing.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just that
with
you're
the difference
using
of
material that
that
would.
material is not supposed to be pliable. It's supposed to put on and not move. So because that stuff is not supposed to be with people moving. If you're trying to just wrap one of them up and not have them move but be carried, I would totally go for it. But because they're going to have to be moving, you're actually creating more problems than what they're currently doing. I know that from experience. So again, if
You
you're
can't
trying
get
to
a
insulate
sumo.
a building, you wouldn't have that big of a problem getting the hardware stuff. But because it has to do with people, it creates a whole nother problem. Because again,
It's just a
it's
thought. Oh, it's just.
location has people not so much. But what the current method is still going for, not only the fact that like if you're trying to keep the furniture as furniture, there's a good chance that you guys are never coming back to this building, and there's a good chance that when people decide to try to occupy this building, that you're going to do a similar thing with the furniture, or the furniture is going to be in a some state of decay that they're going to get rid of it anyways. So it's one of those you're not actually resolving a problem. You're just making it someone else's problem.
Uh, I was thinking. Uh, where they had uh, sleeping bags and things rated. We
Well, you'd have to remember
where you
because it's
do.
Gotham. No one actually goes camping. So it's not that you're
And
having
get
like
the
bad
back
ideas or
cave.
anything. It's just the stuff you want isn't gonna actually be there because of the location or the city you're in doesn't actually do those things.
That's well. That's
Yeah. So it's more of the
what's gonna
location
happen.
is causing problems over what you may or may not actually desire or want.
Okay.
But the big question is does Ren take a note from Vigil and start creating herself her own insulating outfit, utilizing furniture and random pieces of fabric that are of clothes and stuff that are laying about.
Yes.
And the only person that doesn't actually have to worry about the cold at the moment is the person with the life supporting, well, with the suit that has life support that will give him much better protection against the cold than what the rest of the party has. So as long as you, so it's more of a time of length of exposure versus the actual exposure itself.
And for me to take somebody and fly off with them, the chance of flight or whatever increase because of the speed that I have to go to get them there.
So the question is, after you guys get your stuff done, are you going to go to Star Labs or one of the other holdouts, or are you guys going to go back to base so that way you can technically raid Techno's outfits to actually increase your chances of survival versus the exposure to the cold, so that way you can then go and check on Star Labs?
I think we should do the raid.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'd like to go back to y'all's base because if y'all have things there that would be useful to us moving forward would be beneficial. Though, if we're not coming back to this building, I still have to drive my motorcycle through this fucking blizzard.
No, you
No,
don't. I'm telekinetic.
Miss Telekinesis.
I can carry you and the bike.
yeah,
Just don't drop the.
I won't. I can't even go higher than 30 feet in the air, so we'll be taking it easy. Not slow, but easy.
I was
You guys can, after doing this stuff, grab the bike, grab him, fly all the way to the base, where you can store his bike, where Shuro has his bike. You guys can then go into the hangar that has additional insulation because it's covered in snow, where the suits are kept, and you guys can, in a relatively warm spot, actually switch out between the makeshift insulation and stuff, which can help you guys get here, to actual suits that increase your exposure time by a lot because it's meant to actually be in a cold environment. While I guess Techno's double checking on securing everything, Shuro is doing Shuro things. Just for some weird reason, he's definitely not liking the cold. Definitely not liking the cold, and a few party members may know why.
Do we have any vehicles that we could use at the base that would
it can fit more than one person?
get into? Yeah, fit more than one person.
The only vehicle that's assigned for multiple people is currently stuck in frozen water because it's a boat.
Oh, okay.
The party has the boat, Shuro's and Vigil's motorcycles, and technically, because the person's because that hero hasn't been making an appearance lately, shoved in one of the other hangars that definitely now needs some more work because no one's really worked on that rundown hangar yet. Is the Hornet, but that only fits one person, and it's going to have the same flying problems as the rest of the party, flying through the blizzard. Unless you guys want to use it to walk, because it does have walking capabilities. Because it can have land locomotion, but still only one person.
Yeah. I was thinking that since this was an old military installation, our base is part of an old military installation. If there was any vehicle that carry people that we could take.
Like I said before, all of that stuff was taken years ago when this place was decommissioned. So the only vehicles that are present are what the party brought with them.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
And because of the current blizzard, the boats pretty much the party's vehicles aren't going to do very well. Because no one has any vehicles built for the cold. But now that you guys have the suits, what location does the party wants to go to check out?
We want to head to the Star Labs first, friend, so we could talk to Freeze and maybe find out from Star Labs. And Star Labs may also have tech there that we can use to help counteract the cold. Like they may have.
Well, it was. Oh yeah, for having to go down there. But yeah, we should probably go to Star Labs first.
All right. I'm just thinking how we could get.
So you guys go fly over to Star Labs.
I was sitting there thinking we could put them in boxes and put all those peanuts around them that are used for insulation as well as.
You guys don't have packing peanuts.
Oh, okay. Well, I just was the thought.
But you guys do fly over to Star Labs.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Well, is my radar better? I mean, like it.
No, this
radar. My radar
is still interfering with it.
Okay. Give me an extra few.
Yeah, it can give you probably an extra couple of feet, but not necessarily enough to make you go super fast. So you guys have to go slower. But you guys can still, after the longest flight of your lives, because you guys are not used to flying a lot faster than what you currently have to, you can make it to the entrance to Star Labs. And do you press the button?
Yes.
After a moment,
and we're at the front.
Door does open to let you guys enter. Dun dun dun. And after a moment, the techie in his lab coat does go, "What up, Eskimo?" What do you guys
We're
want?
here to talk to. We're here to talk to to Mr. Freeze, and we're also here to see if you have any type of insulation material that could help us with dealing with cold outside. with whether or not the suits that we currently had on on everybody
Well, if there's
is
anything to counteract the cold, you'd have to talk to Mr. Freeze. Not my department.
okay.
Again, not a cryophysicist. But he takes you guys to the elevator. Go. You remember what button to push. And remember to not have too much fun. You guys press the right button, go down the elevator, and enter an area that is quite cold. So lucky for you guys have the suits. And after a moment, Dr. Freeze pops up and goes, "Why the hello, accomplices, I mean heroes. How's your frosty day going?"
It's cold.
It's going fairly well, considering.
So how do we make it not cold now?
You're not?
What do you mean we're not?
You think I'm going to create a device that can be easily countered? If you're lucky, there's going to be about 2 months of the storm before the blizzard starts to actually properly not blizzard anymore. And then for the next couple hundred years, this place will maintain a certain level of coldness to, make it so I can walk around without having a bloody suit on.
Well, you're not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, I know. I get to walk around without my suit on down here because this place is designed for me. Which means I can enjoy the fresh winter coldness of the surface. But, hey!
Like I said, you're not getting out of this building.
Well, yeah, I figured that. If I go to escape, this place is going to blow up. So it's kind of like defeats the purpose of trying to escape if I'm just going to, die in the process.
Well, that would do us all a favor.
You say that like a true villain. Like I said,
I'm not one for putting villains behind bars.
And I'm not one for letting heroes, be heroes. Everyone needs to be chilled out. But like I said, eventually the blizzards will die down, but the coldness isn't going away anytime soon. Mainly because, again, I didn't design any sort of countermeasures to reverse it or anything like that, because why would I? And without the Batman, I'm pretty sure there's not anyone around that will be able to, counter the effects that I've put into place. I put in place.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Well, unless, as far as I know, the only person that's ever countered my stuff has been Batman. If he's not around, well, then I don't know who's going to be able to do any sort of reversing. And if you're worried about your bra problem being a problem, well, go ahead, make it warmer. It will love that. And unless you want to make sure those ants, are actually not a problem, go ahead, make them a problem again by hoping that you can fix this and the ants are just not dead. Well, I just realized I messed up that entire sentence. you want to make sure the ants are gone, you need to keep the cold around for a pretty long time to make sure they actually freeze. Otherwise, there's a chance they're just in some sort of hibernation, and they'll just wake up when it's warmer. So if you want to, undo the problem solving of solving problems, make it warm. And not to mention the fact that from information I got from you guys, how many people are actually being negatively affected in Gotham? Not that much. A tiny percentage. And yeah, part of the East Coast may be cold, but again, lots and lots of people were evacuated to safer areas prior to this entire event. So, perfect time to freeze the city.
Yeah.
And the surrounding areas, because again, how many people are being negatively affected in comparison to when I initially tried to activate that device? Because when I tried to do it, the city was full of people. Because we're talking about a city that has like an extremely huge population of way too many people. It was overcrowded, overpopulated. Now the city is severely underpopulated, and that was before you guys activated the device. Because all I did was tell you where it was and how to use it. I didn't set it off. And none of you did your due diligence on the device. So who's really to blame? The man who created the atom bomb or the people who used it? Because I didn't use it. I even had options that wouldn't be anywhere as bad. You guys just took the easy one. If I had a beard, I would stroke it right now. But I am incapable of actually having hair. But I can't help you unfreeze it. And you can actually thank the Batman for that, too, because... Well, he has a way of really making us adversaries of his really escalate how we do things. Except for the Joker. Joker just didn't care. You have to say...
I mean, is this Mr. Freeze like Arnold?
No, this isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. Even though that was a funny Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
This is a much more sophisticated looking and sounding one, because he doesn't look like a beef stick trying to freeze everything with silly puns about freezing things. Because he was very punalicious with his puns. But Mr. Freeze will go back into character. He'll go, yeah, unless you guys can find villains that are dead set on raising the temperature, I don't think you're really gonna find any environmental specialists that can actually counter us anytime soon. Again, the device wasn't designed to have loopholes or countermeasures. Because the person who did all that was, well, again, Batman. And unless you can find Batman and then figure out how he planned on counteracting it in the first place, good luck. All I can say is stay warm. But a lot of the problems are going to be resolved. Because again, don't if it works properly, your Bob's going to be in a state of coldness you don't have to worry about for at least a couple hundred years. The ants are going to be gone. The flies, they're going to be gone by either flying elsewhere or frozen. Any random other blob bits are going to be frozen. So any things you guys managed to miss there is going to be taken care of. And a lot of the other weird things that are supposed to be out there aren't going to be out there to cause you a problem because it's cold. But it's like all I can say is you guys should have gone for the my other cryo missiles because those, well, they're not designed to cause long-term mass freezing. They're more pinpoint freezing, and wouldn't have lasted quite as long. You would have had enough time to take care of the problem before they unfreeze, instead of having to have the coldness be the actual problem.
Is the
It's the
so there's no way we can convince you to help us um, turn off your machine.
well, the machine did its job. It's not work. The machine's not functional anymore because it's supposed to just blow up.
Oh, okay.
And so there's no
That's
turning it off or reversing the device because the device was supposed to just detonate and do what it did. And like I said, it was designed to my best of my abilities to not be countered. And the only person I knew that possibly would have had any counter to it is Batman.
Okay. I think Ren and they. You said you guys found the Batcave.
Yes. What? I'm sorry?
Batcave.
Was that telepathic or verbal, All Strike?
Telepathic.
Okay, just make sure you make that known.
I did. I thought I said that. I said I was thinking.
He did.
Oh, okay, sorry, it cut out on my end then.
That's okay.
But yeah.
Well, if we did, we might be able to find out how he counteracted the freeze before.
I mean, our encounter with Two Tap, he literally told us not to use it, so I don't know how helpful they're going to be about that.
Not to use the Batcave?
Well, yes, and also not to use the device that we had as well. We were told never to return. I don't feel like playing that game again either.
The only reason I was thinking that if we had access to the back computers and everything, we might be able to figure out a way to reverse the effects of Freeze's bomb. That was the only reason I was thinking that.
I mean, our better bet might just be finding Batman himself.
And I wonder where he could be.
In Fiji.
This time of year?
Cool. Yeah. He's fooling around with the natives. Um,
Well, where do you, misfortunate crew, decide to go?
I don't know. They had that whole telepathic conversation, and they're doing that. I don't like being in the same room with Mr. Freeze, so I
Go
leave
back to the elevator?
and just wait for them inside. Yeah, I just wait for them.
you what?
He's waiting back in the elevator.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I'm gonna end up trying to hurt Mr. Freeze.
I asked Mr. Freeze if there any type of material that we can use to better insulate ourselves from the cold that that we can get.
From here?
Like,
Nope.
not
Star
from here.
Labs is very particular about any of their material. Yeah, very particular. Like, I can't even give you a spare change of my clothes without them getting ornery about it. 'Cause they're not going to give you crap without red tape being cut. And in the state of the world, good luck getting that paperwork pushed through. Which
I
all I can say
think
is,
Corinne,
good day. I got some more cold-based stuff to work on. Unless you guys are
So we had a
volunteering for my new freeze ray. Unless you guys are volunteering for my new freeze ray.
Oh. No. I don't think. I was gonna. So I think we're not gonna get any help from here, Ren. So we need to go ahead and go out. Now, I don't know if you want to talk to Freeze. But I don't know. Otherwise,
I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna.
you're
Well, where do you guys go now?
probably go to a nice warm spot. You know, like Saudi Arabia.
Finding somewhere warm is probably not a bad idea.
Need to probably go back. Look for his.
Oh, you guys want to go?
You did.
Looking for his sibling.
That's why I'm thinking. And while we do that, we can take a look to see what else we can find, or there may be something that may come up. So
Well, what location?
how many people?
Do you guys?
How many people are? How many people are?
How many people are where?
That's before we leave. We need to check there to see if his brother's there. I mean, why waste the trip?
Well, like I said, so there's the Gotham Apartments, Arkham Asylum, St. Luke's Hospital, and Ellsworth building. You guys are closer to the asylum than anywhere else because it's literally across the frozen river. And then not too far from there is Gotham, the Gotham Tower Apartments. And Ellsworth would then be between you guys and St. Luke's Hospital.
Okay. So what order do you want to go, Ren? And I mean,
Which one was the closest?
Arkham Asylum.
Is it really likely that your brother would be at Arkham Asylum? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I don't know where my brother would be. Hence the looking for.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Arkham was closest.
So then the next closest.
Do what?
The next closest, if you're not going to Arkham Asylum, would be the Gotham Tower Apartments.
If you want to mess
with
this,
what?
I said, if you don't go to Arkham, because there's a lot of things that we might get in trouble with. I'm assuming Arkham is pretty much locked down at this point.
Well, moving past Arkham, does it say yes or no if you're going there? If you're not going to Arkham, then Gotham Tower Apartments would be the next closest location.
Okay, well, let's go to
Gotham Tower Apartments.
The Tower Apartments.
You guys can easily exit the Star Labs building and fly all the way to the apartments. Because there's nothing stopping you. Almighty Ren, with your power of mental mind reading, or mental detection, can you please roll me your perception of +12, please?
$300.
You can, as you pretty much get to the building, take that there still is plenty of people there. Well over 100 mines. You can easily get down to the front entrance building where you guys know that they prefer you come in and out of because they don't want people flying in. And after a moment of standing outside the barricades, how exactly do you make yourself known other than attempting to yell over the blizzard?
I go try to find the leader of the group that's there because I've dealt with them.
You guys are outside the barricades. How do you make yourself known so they can let you in?
I can telepathically reach out to the guard or whatever, essentially whoever's close to the Or the name of the leader, yeah.
You guys weren't
Yeah,
given
I
a name
don't
of
remember.
the leader. They weren't very forthcoming.
So I
Not quite.
can.
Communicate with the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is freaked out for a moment. This again normal. Even though this is not normal circumstances, he's not used to people talking to his head. But after a moment, the barricades do open to let you guys in. Where several of them do recognize that, hey, it's Allstrike. And the main guard goes, what do you guys want? Can't you see we're dealing with a worst winter this place has ever seen?
I'm looking for my brother.
Do you have a name for this mysterious brother?
Brandon Dwight.
Like I said, if you guys ask around to verify if he's here or not, but it's going to take a moment.
Yep. Let him know his brother's here.
So you guys trying to figure out who. Well, we probably know who. It was probably Mr. Freeze and how he finally froze the city. That wretched criminal. You guys trying to figure out a way to
Yeah.
defeat him and undo his shenanigans?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
If Batman was around, that he wouldn't have dared do this to us.
Probably not.
Ren, are you going to use your mental mind reading to see if A, they're actually looking for his brother, and or B, if they are, what information you can glean?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay, because you're doing active search, and you're here, so there's no range penalties. Which I have to do math now, because they're the ones that need to resist, so... As I press all the wrong buttons, because why would I press all of them? This will also give you inclination of how many people are actually here, Ren.
Okay.
Okay, because they don't the DC of the effect goes off of that relatively big number, which means, wow, if it's a nat 20, that you're unable to do anything with their minds because they're beating it. Out of all the mines that are here, because there's a lot of them for you to dig through, as the time passes, because you're digging through the mines, mainly focusing on the people who are actually looking, trying to figure out if there's a Brandon Dwight here, you can find that there is several Brandons, but none of them are Dwight. And after about like 45 minutes of like waiting, because again, it's not necessarily a tiny building, it's an apartment building, and getting people to talk, you are able to determine that there is no Brandon Dwight inside this building. But a thing you're able to note is because, again, several people got really, really low, including some people who absolutely botched their resistance for your mental diving. A couple of the people, in some of their memories, you can see a person that matches the description of Brandon White, but there's a discerning thing. Do you remember when the party was told that a long while ago some people showed up offering like food and water, but a couple of the people here had to go with them, and then those people never came back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one of the people that showed up that offered the aid loosely fits the description of Brandon of his brother.
Gotcha.
Meaning his brother possibly is not such a good guy. Or it's just a coincidence that someone looks like him happens to be possibly a bad man.
Okay.
Relay this information to the party.
Without the opinion, yes.
Which means you guys have a lead. Dun dun dun. Dun dun.
Do we know the name of this group?
The suspected
And where
group
they're at.
that was involved in the disappearance of the some of the people here. It's not necessarily that that the group had a name, but the suspected leader of that group, the party defeated already.
Right. I forgot where they were at though.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
The suspected affiliation of the individuals who came here, offering to take them to go get food and water. The party defeated the group that possibly those individuals belong to, and you guys know exactly where that particular hotel is, and the horrible condition it's now in.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Which means you guys have a location to go look.
Yeah, we should probably go to that location.
And hey, at least it's you don't have to worry about those the bug problem in that hotel anymore.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do you want to enlighten him?
Let's go to. Do I want to what?
Do you want to enlighten him on where the clue possibly leads? Well, the destination of this clue leads and what is associated with that building?
Yeah.
Well, tell him.
So, all right. So it seems like we're going to be checking out a hotel that we have some previous experience with because we were dealing with some vampires, it seemed like, and their throng. So if there's any chance of finding your brother since he was a part of that scout group, it's probably going to be at that hotel. Now, once we took out the...
I'm out of character. So you're saying that my brother is was a part of like the vampire group or a part of the group that is at the location that we're currently at and was the one that didn't return?
Part of the
I think they were part of the throng.
Okay,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
He may or may not have been a thrall. Also referred to as a half-blood.
As a what?
Half-blood.
A thrall.
A not full vampire.
What the fuck has he gotten himself into?
Who knows?
Well, the one positive about it is that once we took out the head vampire, we left the thrall to the ants.
Yeah,
But
well,
it's also possible your brother wasn't turned partially or fully. So yeah, let's go see what we can find.
So you guys can easily fly over to that building. This is also not that far away. And you don't have to stress the ants because the likelihood of them being out and about is highly unlikely, which means you guys can get to the hotel. Uh, Now, do you want to go from the ground floor up or go from the top down?
Ugh.
I think we're gonna have to go the ground floor up because I'm not able to fly higher than 30 feet without being ill.
Yep.
Why do
So
you
we're
get
gonna go
ill then?
ground up.
Oh, they don't know why you have altitude sickness.
Um, so I felt really bad for Killer Croc, and I decided to take it upon myself to um, do my best to give them some peace in their final days as they lose the last of their humanity. And in doing so, I gained their absolutely sickening, severe fear of heights, drops, and falls.
Because of how
Oh,
many
jeez.
times he's been kicked out of things, flown off of things. Just unfortunately, one of the ways people like to defeat him is fling him off of things. So even though they didn't kill him, he does not like high altitudes. So you have a flyer that can't fly very high without getting nauseous and sick and it becoming a problem.
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess the idea of me flying the three of us up there was not going to work out
It,
for
it,
you.
it
So,
means he's gonna get altitude sickness.
yeah. So I guess we start off at the bottom
You guys can
and work our way up.
easily enter in through the bottom because like a lot of the entryway stuff got torn apart by ants. Um, and because this is one of the bigger, grander hotels, just like last time you guys viewpointed the entrance, there's big wide open area for the reception area where there's the elevators that went up. You do know where the stairwells are, and because you decided to start from the bottom down, as you guys can easily enter in, and there's significantly less snow in here, but it's still cold. And all of you guys need to make me a perception check. Ren has a
Okay.
12, Allstrike has a 5, and Vigil has a 9. And he already has that die ready.
I rolled a nat
Oh, you
20.
definitely notice it. Okay, yeah, you notice
I got
it.
a
17 plus 9 is 26. You definitely know. Oh, so far I got 2 out of the 3 people noticing this. You notice it as well, but they notice it a little bit before you guys. In this grand opening way, because it's like lots of space and stuff, towards somewhat the top, you guys can see that there is this weird organic looking structure. By organic, I don't mean it looks like fleshy or anything like that, but it kind of is reminiscent of a wasp hive. And it's like towards the top, and you guys can hear faint buzzing coming from within.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ready the chain.
But you don't see any of the ants or
The
anything about. So whatever's in there making that buzzing sound is unaware of your guys' presence at the moment.
Yeah, shouldn't the hive be asleep because of the cold? We should be fine if we don't disturb it.
Yeah, you're right. It should be. It's probably sleeping, and I'm not going to turn on my radar because that the frequency of the radar would
It's always triggered the ants
possibly wake.
before.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. So
And
we got a
thankfully,
choice. Either we can go
you guys know
and
how to
mess with
go
it,
up.
or we.
Because the lower half of the hotel, you guys definitely know didn't have anyone at it because the ants kind of took care of that before the vampires moved into the upper half. So it's using the stairs to get to the upper half to start your search to see if there
You
is
don't.
any survivors.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you sense anybody, Ren?
I was just gonna ask real quick, is the nest like blocking the stairs completely? Is that
No,
what you
it's
said?
not. It's not blocking the stairs. Stairs. You can still get access to the stairs, one of the several of them, and go up. The hive right there is not blocking your path. It's just extremely noticeable if you come through this way.
Okay, so we
You can
Go into
still
the
go
go.
up.
We go up to the center. Oh,
yeah, I think we should be able to pass it as long as nobody, tries to tap it or shoot at it or
yeah,
stomp
yeah. Well,
or
that's
any
why
of
I said
that
I'm not.
fun stuff.
Activate his booster jet, his jet boots, and fly around.
I was about to say, should I just grab the two of them and
Levitate up the stairs.
transport us? Yeah, off the ground up the stairs.
That
Yeah.
will greatly reduce vibrations by a factor of good luck making any. Because you guys aren't walking around in
Awesome. So
circles
that's what
anymore.
we're gonna do. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Very carefully.
Because you guys are able to make it up. Um, and after a while you come across part of a dismantled barricade that does look like the thralls were that when the ants were coming were making attempts to remove it so they can get out, and then you can see slight evidence that ants that were in the stairs took the advantage of it and then came through. So you guys are in the first area. You can start searching for any clues that his brother may or may not be up here by looking for wallets and or body parts that may be evidently belonging to his brother.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, you're currently not sensing any mines up here. But that is a perception check to... Oh no, is it a perception check? Let me double check. No, it's an investigation check. Which...
I don't see shit.
8 for vigil for investigation because you rolled an 8. Allstrike also has a +0, so hopefully he gets good. And yes, investigation. Ren, you have a +6. You have the best bet of actually finding the evidence needed. So please.
Can I also do is there anything that we could use? Like food, ammo, whatever, while we're doing the investigation.
Well, the only person that uses ammunition doesn't use the caliber ammunition that would be found with the thralls. And you guys are good on food. And for the most part, the vampires that were here didn't, unless you're looking for blood bags, which will most likely definitely not be any good anymore, there's going to be no actual food to find.
Okay.
But Ren, can I get that roll with a +6, please?
Yeah, I'm coming.
There's the other two. There's been verified that Vigil didn't make it because he got a. You lucky. This dice spot loves you.
The nat 20s tonight.
Tonight only.
Tonight and one night only. Next week it's going to be all ones. Watch.
That's happened before.
Yeah. But after about a half hour or so of you guys looking through the area from where you believe the thralls were, you do find a bit of evidence to support that his brother was here. You find a wallet that has his ID in it.
Okay.
Verifying that his brother was here, and it was in the area that looked where thralls would rest and sleep. So it wasn't where the vampire food was, but it was where the thralls congregated, which would heavily imply that his brother was a thrall, unfortunately. At this point in time, on your guys' comms, Captain Sewer says, "Hey, can you guys come back to home base? I have a surprise."
What? Okay.
Guess we better get back to base.
Yeah, well, we found some evidence about his brother.
That's good.
And unfortunately, if he was one of the thralls that were in here, the ants may have taken care of him.
Well, that's not so good.
Unfortunately. Why is
I'm not sure why you put that in dice rolls only, but that's.
I don't know either. I just.
You guys are able to make it back to base, where Vigil gets to see the hidden elevator that goes down. There's an elevator that leads into the water, so you guys can see from the bottom up view that there is thick ice now. Where you can get into the base that looks kind of like that it's a sewer base, even though it's more like themed as sewer. And Captain Sewer does pop up and goes, do you guys remember when I sent for some supernatural aid from the Justice League?
Yes.
Because we were dealing with supernatural stuff, and none of us are real. Well, outside of our telepathic, that's the real only supernatural stuff we're capable of knowing anything about, and that's limited to only the magnificent Ren, Reader of Thoughts. But they've not only finally got around to actually having someone show up, but the person did show up, and they flew him all the way from London.
Constantine?
One, your character doesn't know who he is, and two, how'd you know?
Thought he was from London.
Yeah.
He's originally his home is in London.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's where he does stuff in London, but he also occasionally does stuff in the United States.
Yeah, he does.
He does a lot in the United States, actually. No, but walking in from part of the room is a grizzled man who Captain Stewart goes, this is John Constantine, a occult investigator and musician. He's like, magician. He's like, oh, that's right, you're no longer part of that punk band. Sorry. And
Oh,
John
it's nice.
does go,
And I go to
the what?
what's that noise?
Sorry, I'm
I think he was rolling his dice. John goes, yes, I did show up because you guys, apparently had, vampire problems that looks like you guys took care of. But, I'm not going to be able to leave anytime soon to this blizzard. But I might have a way to help with your guys' blizzard.
Oh, okay.
But,
That would.
well, it's because I've had to deal with weird stuff, before, and due to some of the things that's happening around the world, the people are relying more on those with expertise in the supernatural over those who don't, because there's a lot of really, really weird things happening, and there is a slight way for me to potentially help. But everything comes with a cost. And once we have your guys' entire team here, we can dive into what that cost actually what that cost would actually be, and potentially how you can help me actually resolve this problem.
Okay.
But on this note, because we have actually breached the 2-hour episode limit, we are going to be ending today's episode on a cliffhanger. Dun dun dun! With you guys meeting John Constantine, and for next game session, you guys will be going into the discussion of what he needs your guys's what he needs the group to do for him to be able to pull off what he needs to pull off, so that way he can help Gotham and help the party. Which hopefully, those who unfortunately weren't able to make it today, will hopefully they'll be able to make it next week. For
Sounds good.
yeah, hopefully. For those who popped in to popped in to watch, and for see those, thank you for watching. Remember to tune in next week for the newest and latest episode of Nightmares of Future Past. And again, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.